He is the CEO and founder of SAIML Pte Limited.
Provide capital to a bunch of Asian companies to be able to access global markets.
He is the sponsor for Straw Special Purpose Acquisition Company.
Agriculture technology, we feel that space is very, very interesting as there's a revolution happening there.
NewsX proudly presents the VaKu Diaspora Dialogue with Bala Swaminathan. Hello and welcome to NewsX VaKu. Joining me on the broadcast is a very special and accomplished guest, Bala Swaminathan. He's a former president for Westpac International and a founder of SAIML. He's based out of Singapore currently, and he's an investor in early stage companies. He's a Harvard pass out and a chartered accountant. He is also a sponsor and board member at Straw Acquisition Company, which is a special purpose acquisition company and will be very soon listed on NASDAQ in September. He has been in his previous roles while he was in India, heading the corporate banks in Standard Chartered and ICICI. He was also part of the founding team of KPMG India. It's good to have you, Bala. You've gone ahead and achieved so many accomplishments, so many successes. If you could talk to us and narrate to us your journey from India, from Mumbai to currently in Singapore.
Thank you, Megha. It's an honor and privilege to be with you. And I wish you and the network all its success in what you're trying to build, which I think is a phenomenal objective. As regards my journey, it's been 25 odd years. And my whole journey has been predicated on trying to connect the dots between, whether it's between geographies or between issuers and investors, and being able to be the catalyst which brings the two together. So whether it was KPMG in early 90s, where we worked on providing or giving confidence to investors in a post-Harshad Mehta world, that the financial statements that Indian companies were producing were strong, or even later, when I helped companies like ICICI Limited those days, ICICI Bank, Wipro, Infosys list in New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ, and giving those investors confidence that these institutions were investment worthy. In ICICI, in Standard Chartered, much later on as head of corporate bank, to be able to bring the corporate bank together with the people who were taking loans from it, being able to provide trade finance, FX. The whole objective, Megha, of my journey so far has been to be that catalyst of connecting people. I've taken the journey forward with Straw Acquisition Corporation, where we will list a SPAC, in the third, fourth quarter of this year in NASDAQ. And that objective is also to provide capital to a bunch of Asian companies to be able to access global markets. My role as an early stage investor is exactly the same. I invest, coach, mentor several companies in Singapore, in India, in US. And the objective, again, is just not to provide capital that they need, but also help them with networks, help them with product development, and give them access to the markets that they want to be in. So my journey has always been one of a catalyst in connecting people across these markets.
Congratulations, Bala, and wishing you all the very best for that NASDAQ listing of your company, Straw Acquisition Company. This is also going to, like you said, open doors for the Western markets to enter into the South Asian, especially when it comes to the Indian markets, Indian capital hungry companies that are going to get such huge opportunities. If you could shed some more light into the kind of companies that you are going ahead and looking to invest in, the kind of investors at this point of time that are interested in this entire venture.
So SPACs have been a very successful phenomena in the last 2.5 years. Just in the first 3 months of this year, between January and March, over $90 billion got raised in the US markets as capital to help capital coming into companies. You probably heard of Grab, which is equivalent to Uber out of Southeast Asia, which announced a SPAC at a $40 billion valuation about a month and a half ago. So the whole idea is to find capital which is more freely available in global markets and giving them access to the growth markets of Asia. It's a very funny world we live in. There is lots of liquidity and capital in Europe and America. In fact, about $20 trillion, as you probably know, is today in negative interest rate territory. And that capital wants a home where it can find growth opportunities, where it can get high single-digit, double-digit type returns. Asia, we feel, has a very strong addressable market with half of the world living in Asia, and indeed even in markets like India, Indonesia, Vietnam, there's a very significant population where the demographics work well, and upwardly mobile population, consumption demands are changing, and if you look at the startup generation, as we call it, in the last few months, I mean, just take India for example. India's produced more unicorns in the last 6 months than it has in the last 20 years. So clearly the opportunity for capital in America, Europe to find its way to Asia is very strong, and we believe we will bring that. The sectors we've called out, Megha, given our own experience as sponsors, is fintech. That's my personal background. Agriculture technology. We feel that space is very, very interesting as there's a revolution happening there. Companies are getting much better with production, supply chain, drone technology is coming in. There is a huge amount of revolution happening in agriculture. In Singapore, we now have vertical farms, hydroponics, where lettuce, kale is grown vertically, not in the flat sort of farms that we used to see. EduTech, very, very interesting space. You've seen in India, companies, becoming $10-15 billion companies in that space in the last few years, and health tech. I think the way health tech, not just medicine, not research and development around medicine, but the analytics, discovery. I think all of that is rapidly changing. Our sponsor group, we have 4 sponsors. We have deep understanding across these 4 sectors. So we've called out these 4 sectors as the sectors with which we will go to market with. So the idea is to find that capital coming into these 4 sectors.
Absolutely. I think you are a big asset to Singapore as a country, and there are several of our Indians who are going ahead and creating big entities of themselves and bringing in the wealth evaluation, wealth acquisition when it comes to the country. But thank you so much, Bala, for joining me on this special broadcast and sharing your insight as to being a citizen of Singapore and how things have turned around for you and how you are turning around the situation when it comes to the economics and the wealth creation for the country.
Thank you very much, Megha. It's been a pleasure interacting with you.
NewsX ITV network have proudly launched the VaKu Diaspora Broadcasting Network.
VaKu DBN will be India's first mainstream platform dedicated to the diaspora community. Help support us. Become VaKu patrons at memboro.com/VaKu. You will get the first access to our interviews, make recommendations, merchandise access, ask questions, and get a shout out of thanks on our TV shows.
You can also suggest to us who should get the VaKu Golden Chakra Awards, and also tell us who should get into the VaKu Hall of Fame. Limited memberships are available at 100 rupees per month on Memboro VaKu.
Sign up now. Log on to memboro.com/VaKu.